Is there any artist in particular you're really excited to like see perform or maybe to meet?
I'm excited to meet Camila because I'm a big fan of her music.
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl in my virtual studio today. We're hanging out with my girl Tate McRae. Tate, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. This setup looks a little different than normal. So you are currently in Nashville, right? I like the armchair that we're in.
I'm in the woods in Nashville.
In the woods in Nashville. And now you played an intimate show tonight, right? How was that?
Yeah, we did a little show around a little campfire. It was cute.
Now you've been playing a lot of shows. You're on tour, and I feel like you're an artist that thrives on tour. What has this experience been like for you?
Honestly, it's been the best time of my life. It's so surreal. My fans have been going crazy. They're so rowdy. But yeah, it's been very validating just to hear my songs back and be able to like scream it with them for the first time.
What song do you find that your fans like go most crazy for?
Honestly, they go crazy for That Way. You Broke Me First and She's All I Wanna Be goes hard.
Okay, well, let's talk about She's All I Wanna Be because you got some new music that you're releasing. This one was an intimate song. Was this from a personal experience? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, She's All I Wanna Be started as a ballad, which is so funny because it's so fast. I was genuinely just going through a weird mental space where I was scrolling on TikTok and Instagram for like way too many hours and was getting really in my head. It was just a toxic social media moment where all I wanted to do was be anyone other than myself. And so I walked into this session in like the worst mood ever. And then we ended up writing like a super big punk song. So that's what happened.
It's interesting because I feel like, especially with Gen Z, it's like you guys are on social media more than our generation was. Like, how do you feel like that's impacted you, not only as an artist, but also just as person, as Tate?
I think social media is really difficult. I think obviously it's amazing in so many ways and, you know, so many people can be discovered and you can meet people, but I do think that it's just hard on people's mental health. Like people aren't meant to compare themselves to people this much and they aren't meant to look at everyone's highlight reels every single day. And I think people don't even realize how much like damage it does to you mentally. It's important to talk about because I think that a lot of people don't want to talk about the fact that jealousy is a real feeling. And I think I wanted to make people not feel alone in that because I know that every single person, whether they're a singer, dancer, athlete, I feel like everyone goes through those emotions. And it's a very universal feeling.
Yeah, it really is. And you're right. It's not something that anyone wants to talk about because it's not a feeling that like you want to have often. But I'm curious for you, when you do have it, as we all do, we all go through our spirals. How do you get out of that? Like, what is your cure for feeling like yourself again?
I mean, it's so hard because that's one of the situations where, you know, when you start comparing yourself to everyone else, everything looks greener on the other side. So you start hating and taking for granted things in your life that are really special and amazing. And I think it's just associating yourself and being around good people who are going to fill you up and make you feel like a great person. And at the end of the day, then once you know you're a good person deep down in your heart, then anyone else on social media can't stir you away from that.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but Selena Gomez recently mentioned in an interview that she hasn't been on social media in 4.5 years.
Really?
Fully took a break from it all. 4.5 years, yes, has not been on it. Do you ever think that you would want to, or could you take that much time off of social media?
I definitely want to at some point. Right now, I think on tour especially, it's like the fine line between like looking at everyone's posts and then again like connecting with my fans. Because I also want to feel like they're like my friends. And when they're coming to all these shows, I want to watch all their videos and I want to make sure that I'm like staying updated. But yeah, I think at some point in my life, I'm for sure going to put the phone away and just say, okay, I'm good.
Just be like, I'm done.
I'm done.
Throw it in the woods in Nashville.
Yeah, throw it away in this lake.
I also want to talk about your song Chaotic. Growing up is chaotic. These lyrics, I feel like, again, coming from, I'm a little bit older, but seeing everything that this younger generation is going through. Tell me a little bit about the place that you were in when you wrote and created this song.
So it was the same producer. I guess this guy makes me really emo.
Stick with him. We need the music.
But yeah, honestly, I was trying to figure out how to summarize my album because I'd written a lot of breakup songs and a lot of situations that I like talked about. I wanted people to realize that there was like one song that would be so intimate that my fans could like almost feel like they were like reading my journal. And that's what was happening at the time was I was, all my biggest fears are like pretty much like named off in this song. I feel like it talks about like the literal chaos of getting slapped in the face with reality as soon as you get older. And that's what I felt like I was going through this summer when I got my first apartment and turned 18. Like, so much was changing for me.
I just recently went through a breakup myself, so the line, don't want to say it, but I really think that I miss him. It killed me. I was like, damn, because there's that part of you that's like, okay, I'm moving on. I have all these great things going in my life, but there's also this other part of you that's like, can I admit this? And wrestling with those feelings.
Yeah, and that was this. I was really terrified to put this song out. I think because, like, I don't want real people listening to it. Like, like people in my life. Like, that's scary. It's like walking up to someone and admitting everything that you're insecure or scared about. Like, no one really does that. But I think I feel like it's so necessary, especially right now. And I needed to. Otherwise, I feel like people wouldn't have a song like that.
Did anyone reach out to you after that song was released, like within like your close friends or family or maybe a past relationship? Like, did anyone say anything?
Everyone asks questions all the time. I'm like, nope. I will never admit anything.
Smart. Okay, it's my job. I have to ask. But also, huge congratulations because your debut album is coming out. I used to think I could fly. And Tate, for me to even say debut sounds crazy because I feel like you've been such a big part of the music industry releasing songs. Does that feel crazy for you?
It does feel crazy. It feels so wild. It also feels weird because time is like so much has happened since the pandemic. But also, like, not much has happened. Like, it's so bizarre to think this is, like, my real first ever headliner. That's weird. But yeah, I'm excited. It'll be, like, my first real body of work, like, start to finish that has, like, a full story.
I'm excited, and I feel like debut albums and titles are important. I used to think I could fly. How did you land on that? Why was that the title? Why did that speak to you?
Honestly, it was a huge part about, I was just going through a phase in my life where, I feel like a huge jump happens from like when I released You Broken Verse, I was 16 years old. And then when I was 18, got my first apartment. So there was a lot that was like happening and I like moved away from my parents. And I feel like I had like a lot of mental switches and realizations. It was really interesting to me because when I was younger, I feel like I was super fearless in everything I did. And I really had no insecurities and my imagination was like incredible. Someone said to me when I was younger, when you get older, you're gonna realize what happens. Like, everything gets a little bit worse, everything gets a little bit darker, and I'm like, that is the worst way to live your life. Like, as if.
Terrible.
And I was like sitting in my apartment one day and I was like, ooh. Sometimes it's real. Sometimes that feeling happens and it's scary. So, I think it has a lot more depth than people think. Like, even the album title, it's like me in like this really pink pop dress on like a burning plane, which is like what a lot of people's like Instagrams and everything looks like. It's so perfect on the outside.
Yeah, it's so true. I was gonna say the visuals already, even with the single release art, are fire.
Thank you.
I love the colors, but I also they're muted. It's like a little film-esque. Like, I'm excited to see the whole thing.
Thank you. I'm excited.
We also get to see you in person at Wango Tango this year, and it's gonna be so fun. This is gonna be my first time at Wango Tango. Tell me, what are you most excited about performing on that stage?
Honestly, I feel like this year's been such a whirlwind with like performing that we're just like on a run. I think, getting to do all these shows and obviously perform beside such incredible artists is so fun. I feel like for the first time, like last year, I didn't even realize what was happening because it was my first time for like everything, like festivals and radio shows. And now I feel like I'm like ready for them. So.
Is there any artist in particular you're really excited to like see perform or maybe to meet?
I'm excited to meet Camila because I'm a big fan of her music.
Well, Tate, we're so excited to see you. Can't wait to see you at Wango Tango, and congratulations on your upcoming debut album. And again, so good to see you. Hopefully next time we see you, it's in person.
Yes, I hope so.
Thanks so much for checking out our interview with Tate McRae. Make sure you listen to all of her music on iHeartRadio, and you can get tickets to her tour. She's out right now. Plus, she'll be at Wango Tango this year, and you do not want to miss that. We'll see you there. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.